Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dr. Cammy and Karen Go Keto, where we're transitioning from the standard American diet toward carnivore through the ketogenic diet, which is how most people get to carnivore through going keto. And we're here today to talk about a little more about our eating and our food and my story about being bored. So I'm day 43 today of my 90-day carnivore challenge. I have not been perfect. I have not binged. I have not eaten any sugary sweet items, I think whatsoever, and been basically off of sugar. I've had a couple of accidental ingestions. I did the other day with some chicken wings whose seasoning, the first ingredient was sugar in the seasonings. And I was in a hurry and I grabbed them from Costco and I was hungry and I ate some in the parking lot before I even got home because I was hungry. And I took one bite and I knew there was a bunch of sugar in it, which I kind of like that ability because then when I do that, I can stop eating them. Now I was hungry there and I didn't have anything else to eat. So I ate them. I ate 4 of them. So I got some accidental ingestion of sugar there, but yeah, that's a good ability. And it just breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart that they have to put the first ingredient of the seasonings as sugar. They can't just sprinkle some in there. I mean, I just imagine them like dumping a bunch of sugar into a bowl, a few other seasonings, and then, you know, tossing their wings in it. So
So let's talk about two other stories that you have. Why does it break your heart? And you said it was accidental, but indeed it was not.
the first bite was accidental.
Yeah.
Well, and even the first bite could have been not accidental because I could have looked at the ingredients. I could have looked at the ingredients and under seasonings, it said in parentheses, sugar. And there it was. But it was one of those things where I was in a hurry and I was hungry so anyway, but after that first bite, I could have taken 2 or 3 bites and then held myself off. I could have my beef sticks in the car instead of in my backpack because I didn't have my backpack, but I have beef sticks in my backpack. And now that we're having this conversation, I'm going to keep some in my car because I could have grabbed, just 2 of those. I was on my way home. So this is what I do to keep the excitement and the drama and all of this emotional stuff. My dopamine hits around my carnivore diet. And the two really, if I'm going to just use food for nutrition, right, to provide good, healthy nutrition to my body, the two should not be connected. I mean, do you eat food and get dopamine hits from eating your food?
Well, excuse me, probably not from actually eating the food, but I think that I definitely get comfort from sitting at Mrs. V's restaurant. My conversation with them is I order the food or they'll ask me, are you having the skirt steak or are you having the New York strip? And I always tell them, whatever you bring me, I will eat. I mean, I wouldn't eat pancakes if they brought it, but if they accidentally brought me a Mexican omelet, I'd eat that. It's not like I don't like food to go to waste. And as long as it's these days, as long as it's carnivore, I would eat it. But for you, you're sitting here now a day or so later telling us it was accidental, but there was no accident to it whatsoever. I just want to bring that to your attention because if you're thinking it was accidental, you need to change your way of thinking.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. And so the other day, I was also having some excitement around food and trying to, I'm just realizing through this video that we're doing, because this is all live, none of this is like, well, it's not live, we record, but we never really plan. We kind of have broad topics that we're going to bring up. But there really needs to be no emotional aspect to the eating for me for now, especially when I'm on
Well,
this carnivore challenge, which I'm starting to realize the 90 days. I really want the 90 days to turn into, 2 years, and then that could probably turn into forever, you know?
but that's even more drama, Cami. That's you talking about what the future, what you want your future to hold, instead of just being with this is what it is. This is what I eat. But Costco is your sneaky place. Hot dog with a bun. Hot dog with one bite of bun. Strawberry sundae.
Yeah, I quit doing all that. I got a hot dog there the other day and I was able, the way they do it now, you can ask for it without the bun because they don't call your number. You have to go up there and hand them the receipt and then they fill the order. They changed the way they give you the food now. So when I hand them the receipt, I say, make mine with no bun. So now I just get the hot dog with no bun, and that makes it a lot easier. But before I realized they had changed that, I thought about that. I was like, I could just take one bite. Oh, it would taste good. Oh, this or that. And those are those background voices that come, in the back of my head that move to the front when I'm starting to eat something, trying to get me some drama and excitement and a little dopamine hit about eating my food. And I don't want to do that anymore.
Well,
Those stories don't serve me.
all right. So let's look at this experience that you had yesterday. Was it yesterday that you went to Costco?
Yes.
Okay. So you went there and you were hungry. Now I could tell you you've got plenty of food on your body that your body could eat without having to eat food.
Yes.
So you could say, I'm here at Costco, and even though I'm hungry, I'm not going to eat anything because I'm going to let my body eat the fat that's on my body right now. But that was not the conversation that you had. You had a conversation of, I'm really hungry. Now, I think underlying all of that is, and I'm here at Costco, so I can get something.
I see what you're saying. And I do want to say, though, that I have had a couple of those conversations that you had just talked about where I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. I can be hungry. There's nothing wrong with that. I have healthy food that I can eat when I get home. I've had that conversation
Right.
and
And
done
that's
that.
and you can have that conversation all the time because you do always you always have healthy food at home.
I do. And that's new for me. That's a new conversation that I'm having.
Yeah. And so it might take a while for you to get comfortable with that being the overriding conversation that you have with yourself when you walk into Costco.
Right.
So, what were the things that you were buying at Costco? Wait, did you eat before or after you shopped at Costco?
I ate before I shopped at Costco, but I didn't eat enough. I ate bacon, steak, and butter, but
No,
it
no,
was
no.
a
Okay. So, like, how would that not be enough, Cammy?
because I didn't have enough portions. It was just like four bites of steak, 4 or 5 bites of 4 or 5 steak pieces. I didn't because I didn't want to eat the steak, bacon, and butter. I want, I'm not. I'm in this like in between place. I don't want to eat the junky bad food, and I don't want to eat the healthy food, but I'm
Okay.
hungry.
Okay. So, there may have been a conversation. Oh, I'm only going to eat a little bit, but now I'm going to Costco. I can always buy food at Costco.
No, there was no conversation like that because I wasn't planning to go to Costco. I ended up going to Costco because I changed my plans. So I didn't have that conversation, but I understand what you're saying. I could very easy have that. That could be me having conversations with myself that I just pretend I don't have.
Okay, so you get to Costco. Do you do your shopping first and then get the food, or did you get the food and then go do your shopping?
I got the food and no, I went shopping. And then during the process of shopping, I got more hungry because it was the day before Easter and it was really crowded and it was very kind of stressful to be in there. I had a little bit of anxiety with how many people were there.
All right. So that is not necessarily hunger, that's anxiety.
Yeah, yeah. And I got mad. I got mad because I am having a party today for my son who's in town, and there was a certain dessert that I wanted to buy, and they had run out of it, so I was mad
All right. So you're going to buy this dessert, presuming it has sugar in it. So there's a story to be had there.
about feeding all my friends poison.
So you clearly do not think it's poison.
Well, I do. I do not think it's healthy for you, but I have things that are still overriding it, which is like people pleasing, wanting to make, yeah, basically people pleasing and wanting to make people happy because I'm having, 15 people over today and I know they're going to want something sweet. And to make them happy, I'm going to give them something sweet. I have fruit. So I wanted to buy a little something. I didn't want a lot. I just wanted a little there. I wanted some choices for them to have.
Okay. But the conversation of that it's poison is not one that's accepted by you because it's not like you put
Correct.
Drano. Okay, you can choose fruit or Drano.
Correct.
Okay, Drano we know is poison.
Right.
So if you're telling these, for me to hear you say, no, I know it's poison. No, you don't know it's poison. You don't accept that.
Yeah, probably not.
Why would you wouldn't offer them Drano, right? Drano is
Well,
poison.
no, but
Sugar is poison.
if I offered them Drano, they wouldn't like or accept me that way. It has to do with being liked and accepted and okay who I am. If I give them something sweet that makes them high, then they might accept and love me.
Well, who are these people?
My family,
So it's not
mostly.
like, see, that's a bullshit story too.
I know. My whole
So,
life is stories. My whole life is a bunch of
so,
bullshit stories. I'm realizing all this.
so the question is, what is it that you're really trying to accomplish by giving them the sugar?
I'm trying to satisfy my people pleasing story.
But you're trying to, but if you believed that that was poison, you would not be pleasing them.
Right.
You would be poisoning them.
Yeah. So when you say that I don't believe that it's poison, I think you're right. I don't believe it's poison.
So that is going to be a conversation that is going to be something that will forever be at a disconnect with you and your eating if you don't believe that it's poison. And if you say that it's poison. I mean, you
And
don't have
then,
to say that it's poison. You can say whatever you want. It's your life. You get to create your reality through your speaking. But if you're
right.
going to say it's poison and not believe it, then that's the discordance there that's in your living.
Yes, yes. I understand that. I see that. And so, they could learn to know me as Cammy's parties don't have sweets.
Yeah, I mean, like you could just say, this is today. So what are you going to give them that's sweet now?
It's a like chocolate mousse cake or something I got instead.
So what is going to be your conversation around that chocolate mousse cake when you dish it out to them?
Oh, I'm not going to dish it out to them. I'm going to just put it on the table and they can take it or leave it.
So,
It's going to be next to the fruit.
and which are you going to eat?
I'm not going to eat either one.
So what can we do to have you not present it to the people?
Well, I could throw it out, but I'm going to have a hard time wasting the money. I mean, this is a learning experience. I will not do it next time.
Well, no. How about you learn this time and just say it's the experience is going to cost me, what's the price of the cake?
$12 maybe, 15.
Okay, a $12 experience that you can just put it in the garbage.
Because I'm not interested in doing it yet. I know these are stories, and I don't want to let them go yet.
It's not about the story. It's about why wait, and what the question is, why wait until next time if it's just $12? I bet we could get somebody online to send you $12 just not to serve that cake to anybody because it's poison.
Right. Well, because I don't want to do it yet. I don't want to let go of my story.
But what's the story that you don't want to let go of?
Pleasing them.
So the only way you think you can please them, not by letting them into your house, not by having them see your son, not by seeing
No,
them
I
smile.
can I can please them in all those ways too. They're going to
Okay,
be pleased in all those other ways.
so you have to please them by giving them chocolate cake. There's
Yes.
something there, and that's not true. You're
Right.
pleasing
Because
yourself.
I absolutely am pleasing myself.
So get out this story that you think you please people. You've never tried to please people. You've
It's just
only ever wanted to please yourself.
exactly by thinking that I please other people.
So,
That's a story. That's why I'm telling you
so,
before we started taping that my life, even during this taping, my life is a bunch of stories and I'm starting to see them, but it's just hard to let go of some of them.
so here's the thing. It's
But
not
this is,
hard. It
I can make it hard or I can make it easy.
all you got to do is take that cake and put it in your dumpster.
Yeah.
You've got two hands and two legs. I wish my mother could do that because my mom, thanks to her diabetes, is in a bed and cannot move her arms and her legs. I hope that doesn't happen to you. I
I
really
don't
hope that
think
you
it
haven't.
will.
Of course, my mom didn't think that was going to happen to her. Nobody thought it was going to happen to her. We didn't even think it was going to happen to her when it was happening to her. So you can take those arms and those legs and that cake and go, I am done making up shitty stories that are going to keep me fat for the rest of my life. And I'm going to take this cake and put it in the dumpster because I don't have to serve it to people. Even though it was 12 friggin' dollars, I am going to get rid of it. Maybe it was $24.
Right. But them eating that cake does not keep me fat in this
No,
particular
it totally
situation.
does. It totally does. Because you get the dopamine hit from doing this very bad thing. And you don't acknowledge the power you have over your own life to do the hard things when it's the hard things that lead to the life that you will love and enjoy
I
and not
see. And so putting the cake in the trash would be a hard thing for me to do.
apparently.
Yeah. And I've never thought about dopamine in terms of bad dopamine, but that's kind of a way to potentially look at it, a new way to look at it. Like like you get it in a way that's harmful, like to yourself or others.
You read Dopamine Nation. I'm not going into details, but you know who I'm talking about.
Sure, sure.
The cake is no, the cake is just your little machine.
All right, everybody. So that's something to think about, man. Bad dopamine, dirty dopamine.
Dirty dopamine.
All right, everybody. Well, keep an eye on what happens with my stories, and
Right.
we could probably talk quite a few videos about my stories, but they are starting to get picked apart one by one.
So we'll know in the next video if Cammy serves that chocolate cake to her
We will.
her
To my loved ones. Bye, everybody.
by everybody.